Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, folks, what's happening? Oh, man, oh man, oh man, what a Friday it has been. It started in the best possible way, which was trivia with Danny. Oh my, oh my, oh my. What a game, what a night. So much fun. I cannot overemphasize how much fun this game is. I mean, wow. So, hello, Danny. Hello, Not Derailed Diesel. User 4325. Wonderful lady. Kirkland Reed. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Yoda Live. Okay, so according to the calendar, today is Friday, August 29, 2025. I am Yoda, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. And today I thought, since we have such a good time on Danny's Trivial Pursuit game, instead of shifting gears and going into current event and politics and stuff like that, I decided, hey, let's just keep the fun going and am having my first casual Friday. And I think I'm going to stick to this for the short term. Hello, Vicky. Good to see you. So, as always, let's share out the live. Let everybody know that this is happening. The easiest way to do that is to hold your finger gently on the middle of the screen, either my nose or my giant forehead, and your friends list will pop up. And even whatever group chat lists that you have set up in your DMs, all those lists will pop up, and next to them is going to be the word send. And you just go down the line up to 40 or 50 people. We haven't gotten an official count on it, but it seems like at least 40 people can be invited. And if you've put a bunch of people in a group, which I believe holds a maximum of 30 people, and you send it to several groups, then exponentially more people are notified. So thank you, Danny, for the heart me. Thank you, Vicky, for the heart me. That's hello, Wyatt Mitchell. Wyatt 6 Mitchell. I like that. So, yeah. Or is it Michael? Wyatt? Sorry, I read it wrong. Wyatt 6 Michael. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So thank you, Danny, for sharing out the live. And let's keep tapping. We're up to 1,000 already. That's a good start. This could wind up being a magical evening of tapping. Let's just keep tapping and tapping and tapping. Get that number up. But tonight, there's no particular topic. It's casual. Before Danny, I was on a live earlier. Absolutely amazing. And I'm going to share some details about that because that was just a really phenomenal time. And I somebody invited me in, and what I found out about the person who runs the live was just really, really amazing. So I'll start getting into all of that in a minute. Let's see who else is here. Tanya's here. Hello, Tanya. Jerk. Claired any something. Claired, I think that says Claired any or Amy. Beverly. Hawk. Sandra Walters. Easy for me to say. And Levi, hello. Or is it Levy? Anyway, Earl Williams is here. Wallace is here. Hello, folks. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, one and all. Thank you, Tanya, for the heart me. You're all amazing. You're all doing good stuff. So let's share the live out. Get a few more people here. I definitely want to talk about my experience. Oh, now, Easy Money, is that the Rodney Dangerfield film, Danny? I know Billy Joel has a song of the same name. I want some easy money. Oh, 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 I want some good times. I want it bad. I want the easy money. Nice. I think that's from the Innocent Man album. But yes, and Rodney's film, I remember, was pretty funny. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with Rodney Dangerfield, right? I mean, Caddyshack, you know, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I bet you were really good looking before electricity. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. So, Penelope Jones is here. Hello, Penelope. Good to see you. Thank you for the daily heart me. You're the best. And you sent to Go Popular. I love it. Penelope's in beast mode. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Penelope. Always great to see you. So, all right, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience this afternoon. So, someone sent me a message and just said, "Hey, this is a really good live. Check it out." And I did not know the creator. I didn't know, you know, anything about the live, but I was like, "Hey, I'm open to new stuff," and I had some time before I jumped on Danny's live, so I said, "All right, let's get the party started." So I went on fully expecting to just sit in the audience and make comments in the chat. But about a minute after I got there, she invited me up. And this is what I found out. First of all, her name is Caress Marie. It's Karress. Caress. Very interesting name. And what's even more interesting about her is that she is one of the founders of the People's Sick Day. And I have been talking about reaching out to the people that organize these things because, again, I have no idea how to organize people. I couldn't organize a lunch for four. So the fact that these people have thousands of people that they mobilize and get involved, Vicky knows her. Excellent. She is awesome. And, she had a photo up behind her about Dump claiming that people want a dictator. And, I shared the kind of stuff that I normally share here because she brought me up. I really wasn't like thinking that I was going to get up, right? But she brought me up. And when I learned that she was one of the creators of the People's Sick Day, I was just like, this is absolutely amazing. So, because of that, because I believe so much in what she's doing, and there is a distinction between her organization and the roughly 20 other organizations that are doing this. And before I say what I'm going to say about her organization, nothing I say is meant to disparage anybody else's organization. Anybody that is making an effort to topple this fascist regime is okay by me. Thank you, Penelope, for the cake. The level up celebration. Anyway, so what's distinctive about the People's Sick Day is that her organization is the only one that is not fundraising. Their only goal is to get people mobilized to fight. And what she's doing is amazing. So I changed my link tree. Her Discord is now the second link after my coaching link. For those of you who don't know, I have another channel, Coach.Yoddah, Coach period, Yoddah spelled Yoddah. And as always, because film studios are litigious. So right under my coaching link, there's the People's Sick Day Discord. So I encourage everybody, like we all have to start rowing in the same direction. Of course you're in that group, Vicky. I would expect nothing less. That's excellent. That's excellent. So yeah, everybody look for her. Either look for Caress Marie, and again, Caress is spelled Karress, and Marie spelled like Marie. And just start supporting that effort. Start supporting that effort. The only thing she's asking us for is our time and our effort, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take all of us. We have to get to that 3.5% threshold of citizens in America participating. So, yeah, Danny, I saw you when I joined the Discord. Yeah, of course you're on that. That makes perfect sense. All right. So, it's a worthy cause. It's an excellent group. Caress is amazing. She speaks the truth. She speaks with passion. And that is what we need. All right. So I just wanted to share that. With any luck, she'll come join us either tonight or another night, so that she can fully flesh out all the details of what she's doing. But the fact that she was the only one that said, no, we're not fundraising. That's not what we're here to do. Because the only problem with fundraising is that everything gets diluted. If 20 different groups are involved with, fighting the regime and all that, and you're all asking for money, it's kind of difficult. I think it dilutes the effort. And again, not throwing any shade, not trying to be negative. I just believe in the fact that she's not fundraising off this. She's just trying to get a movement going, which is phenomenal, right? And yes, I did see the webpage. There's also a webpage, as Vicky points out. So yeah, let's all get behind that effort, because we're already way behind, right? You got a fascist regime that is growing every day. They're breaking laws every day. They're trying to take more from us every day. And America might become unrecognizable, right? And Auburn Tiger 83 just puts one word up: disagree. I don't know what that means. Maybe you could be a little bit, just a tiny bit more expansive and help me understand what you mean by that. I mean, I smell propaganda parrot, but hey, who knows? Anything is possible. Auburn Tiger. Yep, 4 followers, probably a burner account. All right, I'd love to hear. Disagree, we live in a fascist country. Okay, great. You have a different opinion. And there were people in Germany that disagreed that Schmittler was a problem. And that's factual. I read newspaper accounts from that time, and there were people arguing the point. Oh, he doesn't seem so bad. He's just got a goofy mustache and he talks a lot of shit. So, how'd that work out for Germany? Not well. And to say that we're not in a fascist country suggests to me that you don't really know what the indicators are of fascism. When you go down the line of the 14 tenets of fascism, find out quickly that Donnie checks all the boxes. Because I heard that for months, pretty bad accusation. What does that mean? Logan, what's up, man? So I think we're going to have midterms. It all depends on Donnie's mood. And Auburn Tiger, the fact that someone has to ask in America, do you think we have midterms? Don't you think that's an indication that maybe there's an issue going on? Have you heard anybody ask that question ever before? Hey, is there going to be an election? Is there a chance that there's going to be no election next time up? When have you heard that kind of conversation in America before? I haven't. I'm 61 years old. I've never heard people asking that question. It's great that you think we will, but the fact that the question is being asked would alarm most intelligent people and most people who are aware of history. Yeah, he might be a Kool-Aid drinker. I mean, right now they haven't said anything egregious, but okay, so now I've confirmed that this is a propaganda parrot. Auburn Tiger just said, I'm scared we didn't ask more about Supreme Leader Biden's health. Okay. So, since you've identified yourself as a propaganda parrot, I have no use for you anymore. So they're gone now. We don't have to hear this nonsense. So, as I said earlier, this is Casual Friday. I mean, if people want to talk about, you know, politics, of course we can. I just don't feel like it. I'd rather keep the goodly feeling that I got from Danny's game. I mean, I can tell you without equivocation, I laughed more in the 3 hours that I was in Danny's game tonight than I have all week combined. And I laugh. I have a good time, you know. I'm a fairly happy dude. I would say most of the time. I'm a happy person. Um so I watch shows and I laugh. I talk to my friends and I laugh. I have text exchanges with people and I laugh, but I did not laugh any harder than I laughed when Danny's game was going on. So for those of you who don't know, and I'm gonna, you know what, I'll start bringing people up. Let me start with Danny. Boom, boom, boom. And anybody else who wants to come up, either you will see the box with the word request in it, or you'll see next to the comment section an outline of a red person and an outline of a blue person overlapping, and then you'll be able to come up. Danny, how you doing?
Oh, I'm still winding down from our game. It
I mean,
was,
I was honestly sweating from laughing. I was not kidding when I said that. I was sweating because I was laughing so hard.
yeah, it was amazing today. I could not believe the fun that we were having today. I
Yeah.
mean, I kept every box full. When people would drop down, another person would come up.
Yeah.
Didn't have to ask much for anybody to participate. They were all, even in the chat, they were unhinged. Traffic Man
Yeah.
was
He was
was
in rare
trolling a few
form.
of the panelists and having a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
it was great. It was a great day for those people that missed it. Shame on you. You missed out on a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if anyone of the people that are in here right now I would say do yourself a favor. Click on Danny's profile photo right now and follow him if you're not doing so already, because it's aside from the amazing fun, all of his lives are great conversation. And he's on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Adjust that for your goofy time zone. And he's also on the first and third Sunday, same time, talking, helping veterans. It's a show called Vet Talk. So either Monday and Wednesday, The Way of Positive Change, Friday, The Trivial Pursuit, and first and third Sunday of every month, Vet Talk. Danny's the guy you want to follow. Pardon me.
Bless you. Yeah, have a little, liquid to help.
Yeah, this is, I've got water with electrolytes in it. It does the body good.
Okay.
Vicky says
Yeah,
Judy
looks
was a
good.
riot, and I concur wholeheartedly. I would say half the laughs that I got tonight were from Judy. She was just hitting on all 12 cylinders. Couldn't stop her.
Especially in the liquor cabinet. She was doing that's a joke we had.
Yeah. It's perfect. Yeah, I just reset my my live goal, and it's my favorite, chili peppers.
That's right.
You
Chili
know,
peppers.
you can put them in gumbo. You can put them with fish. You can put them with your steak. You can put them with your chicken. You could use chili peppers on anything you like. Let's see. Dangerfield is asking, how do I feel about Robert E. Lee's portrait, including a slave holding his horse in the USNA? What is the Is that the U.S. Naval Academy? Is that what that is?
No, Military Academy, USMA.
Oh, well, he says USN as in Nancy, USNA.
They may have moved it to there, but it was in West Point at the U.S. Military Academy.
Well, listen, I mean, oh, she's here. Excellent. Caress your ears must have been burning because I've been talking about you quite extensively.
No, actually, Alyssa, she came on the live and I was on my live. So I do a live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. 7 p.m. Central Standard to 10 p.m. Central Standard.
Cool.
So I told my crew that I was going to get off live early because I had to go get my daughter. So they're going to ride with me. But in the meantime, I was going to come over here. And if they wanted to join up in this conversation with you, they can follow me over here. So they should see my little orange dot.
Excellent. Yeah. So
How are you guys?
I sent you a message earlier saying that I had changed my link tree to have the link to your Discord on it.
And I appreciate that so very much.
I mean, I believe so much in what you're doing and the way you're doing it. And I did my best to cover, what you said earlier, but you're the best source for this. So why don't you explain to everybody about the People's 6 Day and not only what you're doing, but what distinguishes it from the 20 or so other organizations that are out here protesting?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Let me share out the live real quick. Guys, if you guys are here in the chat, do me a favor. Help share out this live for Yoddah. Let's get his numbers up as high as we can. Let's get this out to many people because, every day we can sit down and have these conversations and spread the message is a win for us. So want to invite as many people in as you can, and I'll do the same thing. But if you guys don't know who I am the co-founder of the People's Sick Day. The People's Sick Day is an organization where we are organizing a 3-day economic and labor blackout. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. There you go. Thank you. We're organizing a 3-day economic and labor blackout. The goal is for us to build the momentum first by getting enough people into a Discord server or a Facebook group where we will wait until we get enough momentum of people involved, and then we will call the dates. We're not going to call the dates for 48 hours. We're not going to let them plan for us. We're going to do what we're calling a sneak attack while they know that we are organizing, because we've been on Fox News. We've been on Marielle Trump's podcast. We've been on the Joy Reid show. We're all over social media. We have, lots and lots of views on our videos, promoting this. They know that we're organizing. They're in our Discord watching and waiting for us. Believe that, but they won't know when we're coming. So we're going to tell them. They're going to find out when you all find out if you're in the Discord, and that's the goal: is to get as many people organized as we possibly can to take an impact. Right. At the end of the day, I think what makes us different is the fact that we're not focused on anything else. Okay. We're not here asking you for any money. We don't want any donations. We're not asking you to go get your picket signs out and go meet us down on 54th Street in front of a Capitol building and protest. We actually don't want you to do that at all, right? Because all you're doing is spending more money into the economy by doing that, right? You're taking money out of your pockets to go and take a plane to wherever you're going, or you put gas in your car to travel, or buy signs and buy stickers, right? And then you stand out there and you yell and you scream, and what do you get in the end? Nothing. You get nothing. You get a day to vent. You get a day to scream. And while that may feel good sometime, it may feel good to just yell. That is not how we get shit done. Let's be honest. Let's do a reality check. The only thing that these people speak is blood or money, right? And the one thing that we don't want to do is go up against the US government with our fists. Okay? That's not going to get us where we want to get to. The only real chance and opportunity we have to fight back is with our money. And like I said on my live earlier, I think we've forgotten as American people what we've stood for and who we are, right? We've been fighting our entire inception here. We've been fighting our whole life, especially if you're black or brown or marginalized, if you're a woman. You've been fighting for everything you got. Don't forget, less than 60 years ago, we didn't even have the right to vote or get a bank account as a woman, or have a driver's license. There's many things that we weren't allowed to do. We fought to get those, and I'll be damned if I stand by as a woman and let them take it back. That's not going to happen. So we see what's happening: redistricting, cheating, right? Shutting down polling locations. We see them lying, manipulating people to, prove that they are the best. But let me tell you, if they were the best for us, they wouldn't be fighting so hard to keep us away from the polls. Okay.
Right.
And if they don't want to listen to us, then we need to make them. We are not powerless. We are powerful, and our voices matter, and we have the right to be heard. They work for us. They work for us. We work every single day to put food on their table. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. And you deserve to be heard. You deserve to be noticed. And you deserve to have your needs fucking met. And if they don't want to do it, that's fine. That's fine. They don't want to do it. Then we move them out of our way, and we put people in those seats that do want to do it, that do want to serve the American people, that do care about the working class. We have long been forgotten in everyday politics. We have long been forgotten. They get up there in their soapboxes and they promise us the moon and the stars, and they don't even land in the clouds. And we are sick of it. And we're going to utilize the sick time that we get allocated to show them that we can fight back. Now, let's say you can't take 3 days off of work. That's fine. You take 2. You can't take 2, you do 1. You can't do 1, you take a half a day. You leave early. You don't perform at work, right? On top of that, you don't spend during those 3 days. And I don't mean go stock up your kitchen before the 3 days. I don't mean go spend a bunch of money. Nope. You go through those cabinets and you dig everything out the back of those cabinets that's been sitting in those cabinets, and you make peas for dinner for those 3 days. You don't go spend extra money to get yourself prepared for it. No, you sacrifice. And the only way we win is by organizing together and making a stand. And I hate to tell you to put on your cap, American people. I hate to tell you to put on your cape. I hate to tell you that, but it's time. They have long forgotten about us, and we need to take our power back. So that's
Absolutely.
the People's Sick Day. You can join us by going to the Discord server. You can do that by thepeoplesickday.com. You can go to my link tree. You go to Yoda's link tree to get the Discord server link, and join us. This is what we're doing, and we're asking people to stand together and stand up for their democracy.
Absolutely wonderful. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, I'm reminded of what MLK said during his I Have a Dream speech, the idea of the promissory note that we were given that, we were never able to cash. And the way I look at that now is it goes way beyond minorities. It's all of us. Lincoln lied to us. He told us that America was of, by, and for the people. It never has been. But now is the time, just to echo what Caress was saying, let's make this country of, by, and for the people. We are the reason why the oligarchy has anything. We are the batteries in the matrix. The problem is they only want us to be batteries in the matrix. And what we want is a way to have a productive, enjoyable life where we're not worried that anything that goes wrong could result in calamity where we lose everything. That is an unsustainable society. It makes no sense. Look at all the ways, like the number one way people go bankrupt in America is through medical debt. That is a disaster. Why would you organize a society that has that kind of mechanism in it? That makes no sense. We're going to get hurt. We're going to get sick. Why does that jeopardize our entire lives? Let's go back to what FDR was doing and make a social safety net, because we deserve to have it. Just by the mere fact that we're here, just by the mere fact that this piece of land that we live on is designated as America, that means anybody that's here deserves to be taken care of. And we're not talking about luxury. Caress, you said it earlier perfectly. We're not talking about you deserve a Gucci bag or you deserve, $150 sneakers. No, just the basics. We all deserve shelter. How horrifying is it that 1 out of 5 homes in America is food insecure? That's a very lovely way of saying that we have a lot of starving people in America. How can that be tolerated? How can the stuff that we see, the never-ending pitfalls in America, how could that be tolerated? It's time that we said enough is enough. We have to go and replicate the historical examples that we have throughout all of world history, all over the place, that shows that if people coalesce, and especially when they get to that 3.5% threshold of the population, which in America would mean roughly 12 million people, that we can move mountains. We can topple kingdoms. We can overturn regimes. We have the power to do that. And what we've been tricked into by 31 flavors and 600 channels on cable is nullification. We've been overstimulated by useless choices so that we feel that we have choices, but we don't. 2 political parties, and it's whoever the oligarchs want in, right? We saw that in 2016. America wanted Hillary Clinton. 2.89 million more people cast their vote for her. And whether you like Clinton or not is irrelevant. The fact is the people wanted her. And in a democracy, it's about the people, isn't it? And yet they're showing us over and over and over again that it isn't about the people. So we've got to remind them that this is as much ours as it is yours. You want to be billionaires, go ahead and be billionaires. But stop putting your foot on our neck in the process. So Danny, I know you've taken all this in. Please unmute yourself and share some thoughts with us.
Well, I totally agree. I fully support the sick day program. I've been a member of the Discord for several months already. I followed Pink Nikki and Caress,
Yeah.
and I believe they're admirable what they're trying to do. I think it needs to be done. Like I always said, there is a positive way of making change, and that's why my page is the way of positive change. Is that violence doesn't achieve anything. He wants to declare martial law. So
Yeah.
that's why I believe what she's doing, why she's doing it, is going to make a difference. it's sustainable and it's doable.
Absolutely. And Caress, when I was telling you earlier about my hero who I went to visit a couple of weeks ago, that's the gentleman below you, Danny.
Oh, Danny, I'm so glad you got the opportunity to spend some time with Yoda. He shared the story with you guys getting to link up, and he was so happy that he got to, spend some time with you. And I just want to say thank you so much for having faith in me and in this mission, because I know that, we can all get a little boggled down by what we see, the constant news of craziness coming out. So I appreciate you staying strong for these last couple of months since we've been organizing and building, and I hope you've seen some growth and some good change, and you see that we're on the right track. So just want to say I appreciate you guys so much, everyone who's joined us, everyone who's who stood behind us. And I wanted to agree with you as well, Yoda, that over 13 million children in the US are food insecure. That's unacceptable. No
Horrifying.
child should be left behind from food.
Yeah.
No
50%
child.
of the vets are 50% of the homeless population are veterans. Come on, man. We wave flags and we talk all this good shit, and then we allow our veterans to be homeless. Come on. There's no reason for that. There's no excuse for it. So that's why I'm so energetic and enthusiastic about participating with you, Caresses, because I have a real strong bullshit detector and I know what's what, and the kind of progress you've made since May is unbelievably impressive to me. And I just think that what you're doing and how you're doing it is the way to go forward in America.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And sometimes I need to hear that. I know, because I want to be at a million people today. You know what I'm saying? I want to be moving much, much faster, because I recognize, if you're probably like me, Yoda, where you pay close attention to every little thing that's happening, and you start to see the full picture really, really fast when you start to read everything, right? And you start to see what each state individually is doing on top of what they're doing at an executive and judicial level. And you start to see, like, oh man, we're in real big trouble, And I think that I'm glad I have the ears of some people, but I know I need the ears of all. And I'm going to keep pushing and trying. And I'm doing everything that I'm doing out of genuine give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I genuinely give a fuck about making sure not only myself and my children suffer, but the people around me don't suffer no more either. Right? I say this all the time. We watched our parents struggle. We watched our grandparents struggle, and our grandparents and parents watched our great grandparents struggle. And we all wanted the same thing. We wanted an equal ability to have a good life. And there's no reason why I, as an individual, should stand by and wait for my kids to face the same exact, if not worse, struggle. Right? Because they're going to make it worse. They're making it worse.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. Right?
Yeah.
There's no other time like we're in right now, right? Minimum wage has been $7.25 since 2009. Hasn't been raised in what, 12 years. On top of that, 14 times in 65 years. If it kept up with inflation right now, we'd be making well over $60 an hour. It's $7.25. Most red states. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Waiters and servers making $2.15 an hour and making the customer pay their bills. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. While you have some CEOs making 1,300 times more than its average paid worker, right? CEO of Amazon makes $218 million a year, while its average paid worker makes $37,000 a year. Incredible differences. And in other countries, this shit's...
he's literally running a sweatshop.
Yeah. And in other countries, that's not allowed, right? Other countries, max 100 times more than the lowest paid worker. Max. We're talking 1,300, and he's not the only one. We go to DHL or UPS or Walmart or Target or FedEx. We see the same numbers. Same percentages, anywhere between 600 times to 1,400 times the amount of their average or lowest paid worker. It's disgusting. It's unacceptable. And it's our fault. We got to take accountability. Yeah. We're allowing this shit to happen. We sit down like a bump on the road and say, this sucks. This just sucks. Please, mister, give me some more. Please, mister, give me some more. Right? We're not telling them, fuck that, move out the way, we're taking what we owed. That's our new mentality.
Yeah, and I love how they've tricked people into thinking that it's about pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, and everybody's got to be an entrepreneur and all that shit. And it reminds me of The Usual Suspects. Kevin Spacey played a character named Verbal, and his famous line in the film was, "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing people he didn't exist." And that's what the American government has done. They've convinced us that, oh, we're the greatest country in the world, and we are the envy of the world, and we have democracy, and we're the land of the free and home of the brave. And none of the propaganda is true. None of it. The only thing that we are number one in is two categories that are good, sort of. One is the most money, which is only sort of good because not everybody has access to that money. And the other one is the biggest military, which is also sort of good because there's no one that we need to be fighting, right? But every
And they're
other
turning
category,
it on us.
yeah, exactly. Now they're using our own tax dollars against us. And every other category where America's number one in is an awful category. Most dangerous place for a woman to have a child. 5% of the population, but we churn out 20% of the garbage. Food insecurity, the largest percentage of our population in poverty, largest percentage of our population incarcerated. It just goes on and on and on. And then you're going to sit there and wave a flag at me and tell me we're great? Where's the fucking evidence?
Yeah.
When I
lowest
look at
in
other
education.
countries,
It's crazy.
yeah, oh God, education, healthcare. I mean, it's endless. I did a thing about 2 years ago on another platform where I read out all of the statistics. Maybe I'll do it again shortly, and because I haven't looked at them in a while. But it was like, how there's all these organizations around the world that just measure stuff, right? All they do is they gather data, they collate everything, and then they tell you where you are in the pecking order. And America is not near the top in most of the good categories, and almost always at the top of the worst categories. There are third world countries that outperform us in some very important categories. And so I don't see how you can lay claim to being the best country in the world. The data just doesn't support that assertion.
Nope, completely agree. And the facade is up, right? The gig is up. The lies that you've been told are clear. And I think they know that we see that from the most part. That's why they keep calling us woke. Right? That's why they keep calling us the woke ones. Listen, we can't have these woke ones, right? Like, let's be honest. You're right. People like us are bad for their business. Let's be honest, right?
Yes.
When they say the woke is bad, they're not talking about the woke is bad like our ideologies are bad and the things that we do in life are bad. What's bad is that we're calling them out on their shit. And we see them for who they are. And we see that the lies that they've been told, the wool that was pulled over our eyes has cleared. And we can see clearly now, honey, the rain is gone. And there's no phase or no haze over my face anymore. You can't keep pissing on me and telling me it's fucking rain when I can smell the piss. Okay?
Yeah. I like how you snuck in a little Bill Withers there. That's good stuff.
What I'm saying?
But it's I understand how powerful propaganda is. I really do. It is the most powerful communication tool known to humankind. Okay?
Facts.
But you've got to, at one point, I think, like, a good example to support what you're saying, like, they don't want the woke people, right? Think about the 60s. Everyone that got whacked had one thing in common. They were all talking about peace, love, togetherness, and equality, right? And can you imagine a government that is threatened by those ideas? Peace, love, togetherness, and equality? And their reaction to anyone who espoused those ideas were, you got to go. Because like Malcolm X, they weren't bothering him when he was like white devil and all that shit. They were like, yeah, whatever, just one of them brown folks talking shit, right? When he came back from Mecca, what did he start doing? Peace, love, and togetherness. Now he's got to go. All right? So they have convinced us that someone over there is our enemy, right? The red menace in China or in Russia or whatever. Some other country is the boogeyman, or citizens that don't look like you are the boogeyman. Oh, it's those people over there. They only represent 4.5% of the workforce, but somehow the immigrants are ruining everything, right? Trans people are less than 1% of the population, but somehow they're ruining everything, you know? And as this politician said recently, we're focused on the wrong 1%. We can't be focused on the 1% of immigrants or the 1% of, you know, trans people or the 1% of anything. Let's focus on the 1% that has all the money and all the power, and they're not stealing your wallet, they're not stealing your furniture, they're stealing your future. And they're doing it in a very blatant way. Like, they are no longer just trying to bleed us dry slowly. They want to take everything from all of us. And they don't care who falls in the process. They honestly don't. They don't have any human compassion. Look at Stephen Miller. He's like a fucking reptile. That guy has no human compassion, and he's one of the ones
None.
calling
You can
some of the
see it in
major
his
shots.
eyes.
Yeah. No, like,
Yeah.
and by the way, he's been like this his whole life. When you see videos of him from his teenage years, he was the same way.
Yeah.
He's just like,
His
you know,
wife
how
too.
when you
His wife too.
manufacture people, like when you manufacture anything, cars or whatever, toys, it's the same thing with people. You manufacture enough of them, every once in a while you're going to get a lemon. And when someone's a sociopath, that's the lemon of the human race, right? And Stephen Miller's one of those. He's a lemon. He's a broken human being.
No, I couldn't agree more with you and everything you just said. And you know, when you look at the propaganda that they put out, they not only tricked us, right, Americans, everyday Americans, to think that, you know, China bad, America good, right, consumerism good, capitalism good, you know, communism bad, right. They've also convinced a whole quarter of American population, right, that Donald Trump is the best suitor for them, right. The propaganda that's gone out to literally usher in a dictator is incredible, right?
Mhm.
And you know, all the way from, you know, Democrats or, you know, baby unaliving BLOOD drinking
Yep.
demons from the pits of hell, right? Like, there's so much crazy propaganda and dialogues that have come up from this, and it's disturbing of how well it's worked, how manipulatable we are. And I see it every day, you know, and having conversations. Still to this day, people still come on the lives and, you know, say the most horrendous propaganda. You're just like, where are you getting this shit? Like, how do you still believe it? But
Yeah.
you know, they bought it. They bought our data. They bought our fears. They, you know, and we gave it to them, right? We gave it to them willingly, but now they have control over it, and they know what makes us tick, and they've been studying us for a very, very long time.
Yep.
And now they did it at such a fast pace that they can't even keep up. They can't even build data centers fast enough to keep up with all the data we're giving them,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
And the crazy thing is that I heard someone say this probably about 10 years ago. When you look at all these social media platforms, and me personally, I love social media. I'm not a doom scroller. I am someone that uses it for communication, to keep up with friends, all that other stuff, right? And I think it's amazing. I've connected with people all over the world, and you know, met someone like Danny, which I would probably have never met were it not for social media. But what we have to understand about these platforms is they give them to us for free for a reason. And it's because the product is us, right? They just want eyeballs, just like television, just like radio. All of entertainment is geared toward selling you stuff, making money from you, right? So it's great that these platforms are free, but understand you're the product, and be responsible with that, and think about that. Like, I never do these, oh, what would I look like if I was, you know, a Disney character or anything like that, because they're
the
doing
AI
face
stuff,
recognition. right? They're
Yeah.
they're cataloging your face. Okay, I never answer polls unless I do it in a joking way where I'm not giving any real information, because it's like, yeah, they are just gathering all your stuff. So, and I never tell people when I'm going on vacation. I only tell them when I come back, because it's like, who knows? Who knows who's listening, right? So just something for everybody to keep in the back of their mind. And before I continue, we have another guest, JK. How you doing?
Hey, good evening. How are you?
I am excellent. Happy to be alive another day. How you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm doing all right. Fighting a headache tonight, but it's sinus season, so
Yes, yes. For me, it's
I'm
sort of
talking about
coming
the
to the end
propaganda.
of my allergy season, and that's good. July and August are pretty brutal, so I feel that it's easing up a little bit, so that's good. But
I'm into August, September, so.
yeah, other than that, what's on your mind?
Oh, you're talking about all the propaganda, no kidding. Like, our kids have litter boxes in their schoolrooms and, all the insanity, we eat dogs and cats and just all the BS that they're spewing, and yet they're the ones that are destroying the country. The concept blows my mind. And again, we were taught that this was the best country in the entire world my entire life. My mom was rah rah, USA all the way. And every day is a fresh new reason to hate this country. Every day
Yeah.
is a fresh new reason to get the real history and not the whitewashed bullcrap we were taught. And it just destroys me. And like I was commented earlier, when we thought TikTok was going and everybody was dropping into that, new live, whatever it was. I don't remember what system that was. What was it called? I don't remember what it was called. But we were seeing how beautiful China is and how these countries
Oh, you're talking about
are
Red
in
Note.
Red
the,
Note. Yeah, yeah,
and we were told how awful the place was and how their families were all destitute and nobody had anything and that they
right.
were all it looked amazing to me.
Yeah. When I
Yeah,
saw
when
a
you find out
Chinese
89% of
person,
them own their home.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
And
exactly
can't
what I
get
was going to
kicked
say.
out of it.
I saw a Chinese person be like, "What do you mean you can lose your home?" Like they genuinely didn't know that was a thing, because that doesn't exist in their culture. Once you have your home, you just have it.
Like you said the other night, it literally takes a broken leg and not being able to ever go back to work, and you don't have a house anymore.
Yeah.
You have nothing.
You have one wrong. I was almost homeless last year, and were it not for the generosity of people, I would have been homeless, because my car broke down, and my car is how I made money. So I
Voila.
was like, well, if I pay my rent, I won't have money to fix the car, which means this will be the last month that I can pay rent. If I pay for my
Or
car, I won't have money to pay rent, and he'll kick me out immediately. So
and then I'll
like
live in the car.
I face the real possibility of being homeless. I am too fat and lazy to be homeless, okay? So like the fact that people stepped up and helped me is amazing, but to live in a country where only one thing can go wrong and ruin your whole fucking life is pure insanity.
It is certifiable.
So let's see. We are up to 22,000 in an hour. That is not bad. Let's keep the taps coming. Let's keep inviting
Can you hear
people
me
in.
tapping, or
Thank
is it
you, all
okay?
of you, for the great comments and for sharing and for tapping. I appreciate it tremendously. And anyway, anybody else have any other thoughts they want to share?
I wanted to circle back to what JK just said. The fact that other countries such as China, we were not only the ones that were surprised, right? Like what you said, Yoda, like it wasn't just us that were surprised about what China has to offer. They were surprised at how poorly we were treated, how
Yes.
bad
Oh
it
Lord.
truly is. We were opening their eyes at the same time
Yep.
as our eyes being opened up,
Yep.
right? And I think that was such a humbling moment, and I don't think that I don't think American government expected that one, right?
No.
How we stumble, I feel like sometimes God or universe just opens up doors that we never anticipated for a reason. And like I said, it goes back to that question, to that thing that they keep trying to villainize us for, saying we're woke, right? They don't want us to see these things. They never intended on us seeing China in a positive light like that at all. And I feel like, those things, those moments are meant to be put in front of us for a reason, so we can, escape this propaganda nightfall that we're under, right?
Yep.
And I think that it's super important that we don't just brush them off. It's like, man, China's doing so good. That's crazy. No, China's doing so good. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, that should be like a moment where we all say, "Oh, y'all really playing us." You know what I'm saying? Like on some reality shit. Like, y'all are really playing us. You're playing us and you're playing with us. And how dare you think that you should be able to get away with something like that? How dare you think that we should just be sitting here and taking that like we're nothing? Like we didn't have the same molecules and buildup as you got. You're just another human being. You're not better than me. Your time is not more valuable than mine. And the fact that you think that it is so disrespectful that it makes my stomach turn. Honestly, it does. And we deserve better. We deserve to be served just like everybody else. And we should serve each other, right? And this isn't about, I'm not, I'm not a Christian. I don't, what I'm saying, divulge under any religion. I'm just telling you what I know I can feel inside my body is right and what's wrong. When you tell me you can sit up there and watch as a child gets, unalived, and you haven't done anything but blame a group of people instead of the problem, right? The mental health crisis, the fact that there's ability for someone who's having a mental health crisis to have access to those kind of weapons, right? On top of that, the fact that you want to spin a narrative about, a group of people being a certain set of people who are dangerous, instead of attacking the real thing, the poverty that's in these neighborhoods that allows this mental health crisis to go unchecked. Right? If these people had access to health care, they probably would have been seeing a doctor, and they probably wouldn't have been going through the things that they've been going through. And if you had restrictions in place to make sure that people who have mental health crisis weren't able to access any kind of weaponry, we wouldn't see the results of this. And we've been saying this for decades.
Yep.
For decades. It's time for us. Oh, go ahead, JK.
No, well, if life wasn't so hard, we wouldn't have all these mental health problems. If it wasn't a struggle every day,
Exactly.
A struggle every day to work, a struggle every day to survive, a struggle every day to do anything.
They're orchestrated. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe there wouldn't be all these mental health issues, Oh,
100%. The amount of stress that people are under, it's just unprecedented. Like, this goes back to the Billy Joel lyrics where he says, you pay for your satisfaction somewhere along the line. And so all these modern conveniences that we have that are wonderful, right? Indoor plumbing, air conditioning, running water, all that good stuff, right? Access to food, all of the things that our antecedents had to work for every day. Like there was a time in human development where all we did was walk around all day long looking for food. That was it. That was the whole gig. Look for food, avoid being eaten by something, and make more people. Those were the three instructions that we lived by, right? And so as we satisfied those needs, like first we figured out agriculture. Oh, we don't have to wander around anymore. We can build cities. That's great, right? Oh, we don't have to go horseback anymore. We can drive this automobile and get there faster and easier. That's great. But there's a price to pay for all of it. One of the prices that we pay is isolation. Like we used to be amongst a small group of people for our whole lives. Now, the person that lives across the hall from me in my apartment building, I don't know their name. I barely know their face. If we happen to be walking out at the same time, I give a hi, and that's it, right? So we have a lot of isolation going on. Luckily, I'm never lonely, but a lot of people are, and we have, this explosion of loneliness and depression going on in America because you're working people to exhaustion all the time. You're making it so that the only thing, like when I was driving, the only thing I did was drive and sleep. I was working 12, 14 hours a day, and I had time for nothing else. I got up, got ready to drive. I drove, came back, grabbed something to eat, maybe spent some time, staring at something, and then to sleep. That was it. And I was exhausted all the time. And
You just
so
defined my
I
life.
I can understand how people, when you and this was new to me because that's not how I lived most of my life. I worked for big corporations and all that shit. I made a lot of money, but when I left corporate America in 2020, I started realizing more acutely because I understood how people live, but now I was living that way too. So I had a better understanding of it, and I kept asking my friends. I was like, "How do people do this for their whole lives?" I'm sitting here doing it for 2 years. I drove a total of 3.5 years, right? And in my last year of driving, I was like, I don't know how people live this way. I don't understand. Like the idea that this is how the rest of my life has to be is one of the most depressing things that I could think of. And this is what people face every day. And the biggest crime is that this could easily be solved just if people had some compassion at the top. That's all it would take is an oligarchy and a government that gave a fuck about human beings, and all of this would be solved.
You defined my life. I work 12-hour midnights. Most of the time I have to pull 4 or 5 instead of 3 to keep a roof over our heads. I come home, I sleep 8 hours, I get back up, I go back to work. I come home, I sleep 8 hours, I go back to work. This is the story of my life.
Yeah,
Or I've worked 2 or 3 jobs to keep a roof over my head in order to make enough money to survive.
yeah. And some people
And
don't even have the
I'm tired.
luxury of 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah. Well, that's not, paying attention to anything else. You feed the cats and you walk out the door. That's ignoring everything else.
Right. And that means also we don't have enough downtime to decompress. We don't have enough time to hang out with our friends. Like my friend runs an IT department for a military contractor, right? He's the top dog, very good at what he does. He's been doing it over 20 years. And I only get to see him maybe 2 or 3 times a year because he's just always busy. And so, and people are social creatures. We rely on other human beings to make our lives fulfilling, and they're not allowing that to happen. So on all levels, they're just completely downgrading the existence that we could have. Because again, we're not asking to be handed everything. We're just asking for some fairness, for some opportunity, for some security. Because that's where all the stress comes from is the lack of security. And that stress releases cortisol, which might as well be battery acid in your veins and literally robs you of your life.
I was going to say physically, it's not only mentally, physically, it's a sit down job. You're sitting down in the car, you're crashing out to sleep, and you're getting no physical activity on the in between. And then they're
Right.
like, "Oh, get out, exercise." When in that schedule am I supposed to get out and exercise? And then they don't want to pay for any health care, and then they don't
Right.
want, they want to push you through every ringer to try to, no, you can't have that medicine, that's going to cost you $1,500. No, you can't have this, you can't. What?
Yeah, I got arthritis in my knees from driving. Luckily, it cleared up. But, just from the inactivity, the being in that weird position all day long that humans are not supposed to be in, my knees just finally went, fuck you, man. We're tired of this shit. you know?
It's horrible.
And I will say this, I will say that it also leads back to so many other problems that we have, right? Our children are not able to be taught correctly because you can't spend enough time with them. And then they struggle in school, and then they blame the parents and say, oh, the parents aren't doing their job, right? And then the parents blame the teachers because they're so like, hey, somebody's got to do this if I'm going to be working all freaking day, right? And so you got the parents and the teachers fighting each other, and you got students that are failing. Right here in Texas, right, in the area that I'm in, 2 out of 3 kids aren't reading at grade level. There are kids that are graduating right now that cannot read at at a senior level, and that is incredible, right? And that goes back to the same symptom, right? Overworking and underpaying, period. Because if we were, here's the thing, we wouldn't expect you to be paying for our health care if we could afford to do it ourselves. We just do it ourselves.
Right.
Right? Like no one would be going to the government saying, please, mister, give me some insurance. Please, mister, I just need to see a doctor. Right? Because we would be taking it out of the check that we made, that we earned from the company that we fucking made all those millions for. And that's the problem. The symptom of the problem goes back to the same thing. If you take away poverty, you take away most people's problems. I'm not going to say everything will be solved by taking away poverty, but I bet you will solve 70, maybe 80% of the world's problems, or at least our country's problems. Let's focus on our country first, and then we can worry about the world, but if we can make the system right, everyone can. And that's, I don't understand. I personally, as an individual, I can't understand how we can't just get here. Like, what is it that's keeping us on this hump of where we can't just do the right thing by each other, for each other? I don't get it, right? So, and I'm going to say this, that we got to stop the people who see this, the people who notice this, the people who believe this way, that have these same ideologies, those people need to be working together to solve the problems, right? Because we have the ability to do so. We are more than just a box of complaints or a box of experiences. You know what I'm saying? We are actually the solve to the problem. When we say, we're not going to allow this to be a problem anymore, right? I come from a process engineer background. I think about everything as a process. If we know there's a solution to the problem, we implement the fix. When we implement the fix, we check to see that it's sustainable. When it's sustainable, we we go to the next problem. Like, that's how it works. And if you see that homelessness, food insecurity, mental health, physical health, all the problem and the symptom of the situation, we attack that shit and stop allowing it to be this way. So,
I think that, to see daylight with Obama. He might not have been perfect, but that man had this country back on track. He had programs in place for health. He had programs in place for acceptance of different people, religions, nationalities, sexual orientation. He had this country going the right way, and we've lost 50, 70 years of progress.
And I think that, JK, maybe this is a question for you guys, or a question for the chat. Do you guys think that Obama also made us a little complacent because we thought things were cool now? I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't show up after that a little bit, right? We got like, oh, it's cool. We got a black man president. Shit, we cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, racism is dead. Like, we annihilated all the Nazis. You know what I'm saying? But really, they were in underground bunkers building a plan behind our back. You see what I'm saying? And we were like, everything's cool. Let's just go live our best life. Money's good. Business is coming back. He fixed the 2008 crisis, right? He started making sure that we was getting a check. Businesses were open. People were hiring again. Things were going smooth. And I think that's where we effed up, is that we didn't show up and make sure that we kept the plan. We didn't think that Trump was going to win in the first place. We didn't think that white supremacy could rear its head again in the way that it is right now. Right. We never thought that this could come back, because we thought to ourselves, we watched all the movies, we saw all the warning signs, we know what it looks like. Y'all remember, how many movies did you watch back in the day that was like racially drawn, and we was like, man, they wouldn't have been able to get away with that shit now. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have been able to do that stuff now. And look at us, back falling into the same strategy as America's been built on, and we allowed that to happen. And I feel like, I hope that this is a big monumental moment for us to take away a huge lesson, that we should never ever 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 get comfortable ever again, and that we all must get up and fight every single time. It doesn't matter how good it looks on the outside. Inside the house, people are getting beat, heads are getting knocked between the washer and the dryer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We got to stay on P's and Q's.
Completely on point. There's something. I used to really get upset after Obama was elected, when people were like, well, see, black and brown folks, racism is over. And I was like, no, it isn't. It is absolutely not over. However, what I didn't see coming was how much the racists hated that Obama was president and how determined they became to bring us a despicable character like Donnie Dunk. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. And, you know, I liked Obama as a president, loved Obama. I cried the night he was elected. And, but he, you know, I also have criticisms for him because I'm a reasonable person and I'm not a part
Of
of a
course.
cult, right? You know, but we did sort of operate under some assumptions that we realized were incorrect. Because I used to say that America peaked around 1969, and I'm using the moon shot just as a sort of reference for that. Um, then I was surprised again when a man of color was elected in America, given that America's original sin is slavery. So I was like, oh wow, so maybe this is an indication that we're going the same. But I was a little myopic and I wasn't expansive enough in my thinking to realize how much this pissed off racists, because that's the bloodlust that we're seeing right now. We're seeing
Yeah.
racists just loving every horrible thing that he does to minorities. And what compounded my heartbreak was when minorities hated themselves enough to vote for their own oppression. When Latinos voted for this guy, I said to several Latinos on TikTok, I was like, "You are voting for your own deportation. How dumb do you have to be to vote for your own deportation?" And they all assured me that that was impossible. I was like, "You got to start reading some world history, man, to see how this works. Because it ain't working the way you think it's going to work, man. He will turn against you. He'll take your vote and thank you for it and then fuck you over." And that's exactly what he's done.
Well, you speak of complacency. I'm not speaking for all YT women, but we were very complacent. We were building careers. We were working women. We could, have it fried up in the pan, just like the old, perfume commercials. We could have it all. Well, now they're, taking it back bit by bit, and now they're looking to take back us being able to get credit, us being able to get home loans, us being able to be in the working place. Complacency to allow that kind of ability to take away all of our dreams and all of our aspirations. We became incredibly complacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
'cause
think that we
very quickly, I think what happens is like when you go through decades of struggle, when you finally get a break, the inclination obviously is to be like, oh, okay, I can breathe again, but we did let down our guard, unfortunately.
I was very happy though to see some change in the level of hate between people in this country when Obama was here, and to see it come raging back crushes me, because I was raised so different. I was raised, you love everybody, you see people as equals. My mom luckily smelled the coffee early enough to know, that this is not the way we treat people. And to see how horribly it's all coming back just makes me sick. It makes me sick. It should not be this way. People should not hate people by the color of their skin,
It's the
by
goofiest
who
reason
they
to hate
love.
somebody, isn't it?
I'm at a
It's
point
just,
where
we're
my
talking
gay
about
friends are in
melanin,
trouble again.
you know?
My gay friends are in trouble again. My precious, precious friends are at risk again of losing who they love, or their lives, or their
Yeah,
anything, just for being them. And it crushes me.
yeah. Because the pendulum always swings around. Like, again, it's just exemplified over and over again throughout history. Like when you let a man like Dump get his way, he never stops where you think he's going to stop. Okay, he's not going to stop at black and brown people.
No.
Look at what he's doing to poor people now, right? So what all they see right now is a bunch of meat that they can corral in some way to funnel money to themselves. They're not looking at human beings, they're not looking at families, then they have no compassion whatsoever. And it's all of them. Dump is the poster child of the problem. It's not gonna, if he fell off the face of the earth tomorrow, this is not going away. There's a machine behind him that's full of billionaires that don't give a fuck about anything. And they're going to keep taking and keep taking. And, all these YT folks that think that they're safe, they're going to find out that they're not.
I keep commenting feudalism when we get into this conversation, but think about it. He's the king, and only the rich keep the money, and everybody else are just, I can't say the SL word, to the system. They are the ones that are going to make the money for them. They are going to have no clothes, no food. It's going to be just like old Europe. We are going to be the ones who make them the money, and we're going to starve and have nothing.
That's it.
He doesn't care what you look like. If you're female or male, he's just going to do it.
Vicky says, my dad was adamant that people are people. Yeah.
Amen. And I am not super religious. That is just a comment.
Yeah.
And the thing for me is that, it's the fact that it doesn't have to be this way, and that's the hardest thing for me to deal with, knowing that there are people that can solve all these problems if they just weren't so selfish and so greedy. So
World hunger could
it's
be
mind-boggling to
solved
say
in
the least.
5 years at a price of $40 billion a year. There are individuals roaming the earth that could foot that bill. And there's lots of them. I mean, in America alone, there's over 800 billionaires. These people could solve that problem without even feeling it. And they don't. And I agree with you. That I've expressed that very same frustration. It's like, it doesn't have to be this way. There's no good reason for why this exists. And we have another guest, Zaza. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this evening, sir?
We're good. It's Casual Friday, as you can see. Normally I talk about politics on Friday and have like chill Saturday. I'm still going to have a chill Saturday, but I was like, you know what? I had so much fun at Daddy's trivia game. I don't want to shift gears into negativity, and I don't mind that we're talking about what we're talking about, but it is. I find it to be a very productive conversation because this is like my therapy, and so I'm glad that we're talking about these things because for so many years I have been the black sheep. I don't get along with my own family. I never felt that I was part of any group that I belonged to. I certainly never felt American. I certainly never felt Dominican. And, now that TikTok has brought us together and I could see like, maybe I wasn't crazy all this time. Other people see what I've been seeing. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about TikTok. It brings people together that need to be brought together.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I know some of these live shows is about screaming at MAGA hats or sometimes MAGA hats getting together. If you ever stumble upon an all MAGA hat live, it's one of the funniest things in the world. Because I haven't done it very often, but every time I've done it, it's the funniest fucking thing. They're like, aren't the Democrats awful? Yep, the Democrats are awful. Oh, how about them queers? Yep, they're awful. Like, that's all they talk about. It's crazy.
Yeah, listening to here's the thing. I think that's what attracts them to other people's lives. Like when I started my live earlier tonight, like initially, they come in and they raid and they jump in and they say inward, over and over again, and do their little schematics. Oh, look at these liberals trying, and you're just we're literally talking about like real world shit here, and you guys are coming in here with this like goofiness. It's just laughable, and it's I'll tell you this though, on the other side of it, it's scary, right? Because this is who we live in.
It's not only scary, it's the fact that they think that it's okay for them to
They think
say
it's
this.
normal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They think it's a good thing. They're like,
Right.
look at what I can do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, what?
Yeah, do
Like,
not understand that at all.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
just bounded by hatred. Like that's why they voted for this glorified carnival barker, is because he got up and because I remind everybody he tried to be president several times and he was laughed off the ticket every
yeah.
time. But this time he figured out the master key that unlocked his access, and that was, oh, I'm going to tell them that I hate the same people they do. And once he did that, he
Right.
was on.
It was over.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I was younger, like I remember being called an N lover just for hanging out with my cousin. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm very light skinned. He is not. That's the only difference.
Right.
And
Well, I'm
I was
biracial. I got
just
called the N word in my house.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
in my house by my own people, my own
Yeah,
brother, my own, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
yeah, it's bad.
yeah. It's just
The hatred
absolute
for black
right,
people is bad.
It runs
Just-
deep,
right.
man. It runs
It's
like
horrible.
I one
Both
time
directions. We get
compared
two either two guys.
racism to oxygen
Mm-hmm.
because, like the same way oxygen gets in you without your noticing, racism does too. Like there are people that swear they're not racist until you try to bang one of their daughters. Then suddenly they're very unhappy about that idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy world out there when it comes to that. And again, another thing that I will never understand, of how I mean, but again, it goes back to propaganda. But you know what I'm saying, like what you grew up in, neighborhood you grew up around, and I feel like these things could be eradicated pretty easily, But again, you got to have an enemy, right? And
Yeah.
if you have an enemy, you can control people. You can make people, believe whatever you want and fight against each other. And so you pit people against each other. The whole thing with the pew pewing in Missouri is now becoming all about the trans people, right? So
How pathetic
that's
is
how they
that?
do it.
How fucking
Mm.
pathetic is that? It's like, really? You're ignoring the last 1,000 people who did it, and you're focusing on this one because they're you're ignoring the cis
Right, and the
YT
rest.
men who have
Oh,
perpetrated this in the past, and now saying it's all because
or
they're
the
trans. Come the fuck
Republicans.
on, Jesus Christ! It's the
Right.
weakest fucking logic I've ever heard.
I was so upset on Wednesday, as you remember in my life, that I had
Mm-hmm.
literally asked a question of my panelists that came up, and there were a few MAGA that came in. I says, is the 2A more important than our children?
And their answer
And
was
nobody,
yes.
yes, nobody could give me a definitive
Absolutely
no.
not.
Nope,
Because I mean,
not a
how
one.
much of a layup question is that? Like, and yet you ask the MAGA hats, and they're like, "Well, I don't know. Well, how about this? How about that?" And we're like, "Wait a second. Really?
It's a
Really?
direct question. It's a yes or no answer. And if you say that the 2A, you shouldn't have children.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Mhm.
You're not on the team. You're not part of the team anymore. If that's your thing,
Can't sit with us.
if you think these weapons are more important than people's lives, you're a fucking idiot, and you're not
Yeah.
helping us at all."
Nope.
One of my favorite situational comedians that's on here on TikTok, was very serious the other day after that and sat down and was explaining how in Britain, when one of the mass pew-pewings happened, that they took away, all the guns, and that, when this all occurred. And he says, I'm not talking about knife crime. I'm specifically talking about this. And he said about how the murders all dropped. And
Gotta watch the TikTok language.
children.
Can't say those words.
Sorry.
Murder.
I try
Yeah,
not to use that
I'm
word.
sorry. It's so
Um,
dumb, but anyway.
This, the school
Agreed.
pew-pewings don't occur over there like they occur here.
Of
He
course.
said, how many children do they have to lose in the USA before you all I'm like,
The
we've
question
tried.
is, there is no number because
The
I remember
it's not
when
the
I came to
question.
this conclusion, and it was in 2012. You know, because there's there's a lot of things that happen in societies that can potentially galvanize that society. Like what happened in China in Tiananmen Square. That's when the people rose up
Right.
and changed everything in that country. Right? That's why China is the way it is now, because people are like, all right, we've got to come together and make these people stop this shit. Right? And I thought for a split second, when I heard about Sandy Hook in 2012, I was like, well, this has got to do it. This has got to be the thing.
Yeah.
20 children, ages 6 and 7. And the
Yeah.
next day, 2A, that's all that's important. And I remember saying to anyone who would listen, we're done. We're doomed.
Yep.
If this didn't do the trick, nothing will.
Yep.
And then Uvalde happened.
Uvalde didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, none of it happened. I mean, this could have stopped at the freaking Columbine. It really could have, but it didn't.
Right.
Because
Because a compassionate government would have
remember
turned to manufacturers and said, okay, first of all, stop manufacturing all this shit. And then a compassionate government, because this happened in 1996 in Australia with the Port Arthur massacre. The next day, the government was like, well, that's it then for all this bullshit. And they ran around and literally confiscated something like 600 to 700,000 weapons and just said, all right, folks, you can't be trusted with this shit. And you know what hasn't happened since 1996 in Australia? That.
exactly.
And we're over here
You guys, I don't
championing
know
a
if you guys
fucking amendment. Like, get the fuck out of here.
You know, for me personally, this stuff should, I think that these should have been stopped way back in 1966, right? At the University of Austin.
Yeah.
Remember?
Clock tower.
Correct.
Yeah.
There were, 16 people or something that wounded and 31 others, or 16 unalived and 31 wounded or something like that, or 32 wounded.
Yeah,
So,
that guy put in a lot of work up there, man.
I personally agree with you, but I think it should have stopped in 1963 after JFK was taken out in Dallas. That was the most horrific plot against a sitting president that I ever saw in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And I was in junior high when that happened. And let me tell you something, everybody was crying. I don't care what your age was, we were all upset. And if you think, and I'm just saying it because it's my idea, nobody else's, if you think Oswald unalived Kennedy, you don't know nothing about weaponry.
Right.
That's all I got to say.
No, our own government did it.
Yeah. And, those types of projectiles are not magic. They don't change direction in midair.
Oh,
They don't leave bigger entrance wounds than exit wounds, and they don't come out pristine after they go through all of that. Before we continue, let me welcome Dangerfield and see what he has to say. How you doing, Dangerfields?
Okay, how are you, sir?
Excellent.
Okay, 5 shots in 6 seconds with a bolt-action rifle is impossible.
Well, it's not necessarily impossible in terms of the timing.
We tried it.
It's more the accuracy, because people
Yeah,
have
my
come.
nephew, the
People
Marine,
have come
he's-
within that timing, but the accuracy was way off.
Yeah, my nephew, the Marine, he's a gunny sergeant, and he teaches. That's what he teaches, okay? He couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, look, we don't have to relitigate the JFK thing. We know it was horseshit.
Facts.
Yeah, it's horseshit.
But Caress, you were going to say?
I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys ever heard about the Kehoe situation. It was in like the 1920s where this guy he like laced the whole entire school with bombs, and
Oh,
Yes, I
he
did hear about
that
that.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So that was like the biggest ever in U.S. history. I think there was like over 40 something people who ended up dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Children who ended up being unalive
That's
there.
crazy.
So
That's crazy. I
it's been
mean,
happening for a very long time.
on Wednesday, some knucklehead MAGA had tried to convince us on Danny's live that these things started in 1980. I was like, go learn how to
Nope.
read. This has been going on
Nope.
for a very long time.
Yep. If I remember correctly, there was about 40 or 50 kids that were
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
I
looked
think
it
those
up.
kids were like,
Yeah, I looked it up that night, and I think I saw that the first time the actual term was used, mass, etc., was something like 1949.
wow. Wow.
Well,
So
like
that's a
I said,
long.
yeah, go
By
ahead,
by the
Chris.
way, the laws have changed since 1949. It has to be four or more unalived to be considered a mass.
Yeah,
You know what?
yeah.
If
Yeah, and they
it's
did
three
that.
or
So
two, it's not.
they reshaped that because they wanted to include black and brown neighborhoods who had like what I'm saying,
Hmm.
pew pew violence in them.
Yeah, yeah.
So
They wanted to juke the stats, basically.
correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay,
because I
but
think the
there's one
original
thing.
definition was two or more, and like to be, I think it was when if you're a serial, it was like at least three, and I think mass events were also three, and then they decided to change it so that they could make it seem like it wasn't as bad as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Wild shit.
Anyway, like I was saying in my live on Wednesday, if the shit hits the fan and we have people going against people here in this country, I said the safest place to hide out is in a library. Because maggots don't read and they won't find you.
Yeah, and the
Oh
few
my
that
God,
do
that
read
is
don't seem to understand
genius.
what
And
they
that's
read.
my favorite place to be anyway.
There
I'd
you
be in
go.
heaven. I love the
You,
library.
you
I
can
love
read a
my
book
books.
and hide out.
Exactly. They'll never find me in the history section.
Shoot, they never find you in the religious section.
Yeah,
ever.
I think I
Oh
think the
yeah, no,
main
definitely
issue.
not.
I
They
think
would
this is a
never find me there.
holdover from how America started. This is just a theory of mine. I haven't done much thinking about it, but when I compare America to Canada, it seems like a pretty stark contrast. I mean, there are people in America that could just walk to Canada, so it's not like it's so far away from us to be distinctive, right? And yet, even though we're so close in proximity, that country is so much less violent than America is. Like, and I think perhaps this
Hmm.
is my loose theory is that Canada was a country created by decree. People just sat down and said, okay, now you're a country. America is a country that was born in violence.
Agreed.
It
Might be
was
a
born
DNA thing.
because of tariffs.
Partly, partly. I think tariffs had a big thing. Religious freedom had a big thing to do with it, and due process had a lot to do with it as well. Because people lived in a country where a sociopath could walk down the street and point to somebody and say off with his head, and that person would be gone. And so that's what they were fighting. And also, when you read the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, which is an amazing read, by the way, in the first chapter, he talks about the religious persecution that they were experiencing in England, and it was brutal. I mean, people were having their lives snatched from them just because of disagreements about the invisible man in the sky. And so all these factors came together to motivate them to start their own thing. And for the most part, with all the flaws, I think on balance, what they created is pretty amazing and pretty impressive. But of course, it's become bastardized over time, and now we're left with what we see now.
What is NG, Danny?
What's that?
The person who said that last night that some Arkansas
National Guard.
National Guard is the NG.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm afraid
Vicky
that's not
said
gonna
that
go
she
well.
heard that some
I
Arkansas
thought they
National
weren't
Guard.
going to Chicago.
I'd heard that, and then I read a story yesterday that they still are. I wish that
Oh
whoever is the
man.
propaganda person would get
Well,
their act together and figure out what they're going to do. But I don't think
Right.
it's going to go very well because Chicago people aren't going to play like the other people. It's gonna
Oh no, Chicago's
get
built
real ugly
different.
real quick.
Yeah, I'm from that area.
Yeah.
Listen, they're
no.
definitely going to Chicago. They're going to north of Chicago. There's a naval base up there, and they're going to be stationed there. Tom
Yeah.
Tom Homan already said that they're definitely showing up. Yeah,
Good
they're
luck
gonna
with that.
it's gonna be bad, right? It's gonna
Yep.
be bad, but I think they know that, right? So,
But that's
um,
what they want. They want to declare martial law.
So my
I
state's
think
gonna
they've
be
already have. Honestly, I think they've
Well,
already
they
done it
have,
without
but you
saying
know what
it.
I'm
Yeah,
saying. They
yeah. No,
want
I
to.
got you, Danny, for
Yeah,
sure.
this is
They
the
want a
soft one.
skirmish.
Oh my god.
They want somebody to unalive on the ice side of the house so they can declare a national emergency in the United States and declare martial law.
And
Period.
they really want it to be a minority city.
Yes.
Yep.
And
You know,
Chicago
all of the
is
cities that Dump mentioned in his insane press conference when he was declaring what he was doing in DC were all cities that had black mayors. I doubt that's a coincidence.
Well, let me tell you, I live in southern Illinois, right next to St. Louis. I'm 5 minutes away. And Gavin's right. The crime rate in St. Louis is much higher per capita than LA, but let's not talk about the crime there. Let's talk,
Yeah, if it was about
That's
crime, he'd be sending it
maybe
to
Democrat country or
the
state.
7 of 10 red states that are in the top 10 of crime. He's not doing that because it's not about crime. It's not about crime in DC either.
The blue state. The blue state. It's all about blue.
Yeah. You know, he wants to punish the people that didn't vote for him. He wants to, he's eventually going to turn on the red states because he knows that the red states is where the highest concentration of weaponry is, and he's going to do something to take their weapons away, and then they're going to be really shocked at that point.
I agree that the martial law probably has technically already gone into effect when they're arresting innocent people sitting on their front porch drinking a beer to try to drive points home. They're really pushing it. I mean, they're not drinking out in public. They're not staggering down the streets. They were sitting on their front porch having a beer, and they were arresting people in DC. Come on.
Yeah.
And they're
So-
pulling people
That's
off.
crazy.
They're pulling people over for the things that they used to pull people over for back in the day when we had stop and frisk, right? Seatbelt
Yeah.
violations, right? Turn signal violations. Like if you look at the arrest records or the the documented records that they have, they're all saying these like petty crimes that are just leading to nothing. They're only giving them the ability to be able to stop and search people, right? And get people's information. And then if they find someone who they want to go ahead and deport, that's what they do. Or if they find someone who, they want to put into a jail cell, that's what they do. And this is an attack. And you got people just standing in the neighborhood doing absolutely nothing. They're pulling up 15, 16 strong, right? Like it's aggression. It's over aggression. And it's gonna you do it every day to the same group of people over and over and over again, you're going to start to get conflict.
Yes.
They recognize each other, right? These people are like, you can see it on TikTok. You'll see people's videos. They'll show, them pulling up on them and they say, "Hey man, I remember you last guy. What's up, Skinny Joe? You remember you can't run," right? And they're talking shit, right? Those kids are talking shit to those police officers, and that's going to start to get underneath their skin. You know, they were running the other day, and they came back, and he was like, "I told y'all weren't gonna catch nothing. Y'all slow as hell. Y'all slow as hell. Like that's gonna turn into something."
Mm.
You know, egos are a motherfucker, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I saw the head of the chapter of the Black Panthers in D.C. actually standing on a street corner harassing the cops last week.
I saw
The video
that.
was
Yeah.
priceless. I would have paid to have sat there and listened to that man go on. He was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
If Tom Holman is really serious about doing crime like he says he is in deportation, MS-13 would have been arrested. It'd have been all over the news. The Aryan Brotherhood be arrested all over the news. The Blood, the Crips will be eliminated. It'd be all over the news. But all he's doing is going after the black and brown people that are vulnerable and easy to catch. He's doing low hanging fruit. Then he's going to the blue states and do the terrorize the blue cities that's got mayors that are African American. Period. That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
He may eventually go to the red states where the crime is higher, but guaranteed it'll be the last thing he does.
I'll tell you this: if he does go to the red states, he's only going to go to the blue areas in the red states. Let's be
Right.
clear. Let's be clear there,
Yeah.
right? They're going to attack the blue areas in the red states. So wherever the blue bubbles are, all in the red states, those are the ones that are going to be the last on the list, right? And in the meantime, they have the red state governors and the red state mayors and the red state, Senate leaders and representatives all taking care of stuff, in the blue states right now, right? Because we already have a massive deportation problem here in Texas, right? In the blue areas, right? Dallas is already under complete occupation by them. So, but the difference between DC or Illinois or California and LA is that they're going to push back. These red states, they're not. They don't care. They don't want them there, right? Like they want this tore down. So because it benefits them, it benefits what they want. But little do they know what they're not counting on. What they're not counting on is us seeing them for what they're doing and then acting together as a unit. That's not what they're counting on. And I do believe that Americans are waking up, and even some people on the right are waking up, right? Some of the Republicans are seeing what's unfolding. And they have the ability to fix this. We really truly do. It's just a matter of us, making sure we stay organized, making sure we move as a unit, making sure we highlight real good grassroots candidates who are going to take the seats of these APAC bought out people, because they need to go. Right, they need to go. If they're bought out by APAC, they need to be eliminated from this seat. If they're bought out by a corporation, they need to be eliminated. All these corporate dollars that are being lined in the pockets, that shit's got to stop. We got to put a stop to that. We can't keep allowing that no more, because that's how we've gotten into this position. We've allowed them to become crooks. We've allowed them to become liars. We allowed them to become users. We've allowed it, and we got to fix that by going to the working class and putting people from the working class in these seats who are going to go in and serve the people and not the oligarchs.
And
Absolutely.
I gotta say, I did a long rant a few weeks ago about that Oreo Hakeem Jeffries. I'm sick of that motherfucker. I mean,
Oh,
Facts.
right.
Well, isn't
what
Corey
he
and
did,
APAC that
aside from
topic?
his history with APAC and all
Yep.
that other shit, what he did with Mamdani just pissed me the fuck off. It's like, yo,
Same.
man, like, don't you
Right.
understand how this works? Like, the YT folks are gonna
Hey,
attack
Steve.
him enough. Don't pile on. No minority should be
Right.
talking shit right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, that
Corey
shit
will get
really
on
made me
the
upset.
government
I liked him for a minute, even though he's goofy. Like he tries to mimic Obama. He makes hand gestures for no fucking reason. But when he did that with Mondami, I was just done with him. Just absolutely done with him.
I've been done with him for a while since since he's been collecting all that money from APAC. He takes too much money. He's too bought out. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I will say this though. He comes secondary to getting these Republicans out of their seats. I will say that. Right. My focus won't be fully on just the people on the left, unless we have good grassroots candidates that we can put in their place and position them out. Now, if it's only between Hakeem Jeffries and a Republican candidate,
Right.
you know what I got to say about that one,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We'll worry about them next. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
But
yeah,
don't worry.
I'll vote in a
We
head of
got our
cabbage
eye.
over a Republican.
Correct. So, and not only that, like I told people, I said, once we're out of this, because we will work our way, we will find our way out of this situation. We will, right? We got to believe that. We got to say that. We got to mean that. Once we do, the next thing we go after is the Heritage Foundation.
Oh
We need to tear
Lord,
that thing
yeah,
piece to piece, limb by limb.
yeah,
We've
And we,
been working on that for years
yeah. I
and
mean,
yep,
years.
52 years in running
correct.
these people. But before we continue, we have someone else from the People Sick Day, Steve C93. How you doing?
Steve,
What's good? How you doing, man? What's up, Caress?
Hey,
what's
hey,
up?
hey. We're good. Glad to have you both here. What's on your mind, my friend?
No, I just came up here because you was dropping knowledge earlier midday in Caress's pop up live. So I was just
Thank
coming
you.
in
I
here to show
appreciate that.
love.
No, I
Yeah,
got to tell you, I was honestly surprised because someone sent me, they shared the live with me, and I was like, all right, let me check it out. And I was like, oh, I'm not following her, so we probably don't know each other, and so I was like, all right, let me just sit back, see what they're talking about. And then you brought me up, and I was really surprised that you brought me up, but I was very into the conversation because everything that you were talking about, as you can see, is the stuff that we talk about here as well.
yeah,
Yeah, I brought you up because I was, listening to saw your comments, and I think that I like to when I see new people, I pay really close attention to who comes into my lives. I kind of know when someone's a troublemaker or when someone means
Right.
well, and so I definitely wanted to get your opinions on things. And I think it's always good to have new faces. You never know where you're going to branch out to. Like you said earlier, that's the
Exactly.
best thing about social media,
Yeah.
right? Meeting new people and being able to organize and orchestrate ways to spread a good message. I think that what we stand for, is a good message. And I try to when I meet good people, I try to value that. And hopefully some of the people that are here on this panel, they've talked with us today, they talked with me today, they learned a little bit about the People's Sick Day, and they learned of what we're trying to accomplish and why we're trying to accomplish it. And I hope that every little bit of extra people helps, right? Because right now I'm talking to you guys. Next tomorrow, JK could be on another live talking to another group of people, and she can say, "Hey, you guys know anything about the People's Sick Day?" Or Danny
Right.
could be on another live and same thing. And you just never know how this web of people can, get the reach that we need. So I appreciate the opportunity to just talk and chat and spread my thoughts and my opinions. It's always good to just vent, like you said, and get
Yeah.
some of that out. So
Yeah. Absolutely. And Steve, anything else on your mind?
nah, no, nothing much. But yeah, Caress's discernment is top notch. Like ever since I done came aboard, like her discernment for sniffing out BS and knowing what's real is next to none. Like she's really good at what she does. But like she says, I mean, I'm just coming in not too long ago, but I don't really know what y'all cover, but I know with you, or at least just you and Caress in here, I know some real stuff has been talked about. Um, she's been doing a real good job with the People Sick Day. There's been a lot of us that's been, they've been putting in the work and doing that, and she's been really steadfast and steering the ship. And I tell people any day of the week, when you listen to Black women, you can't go wrong. So when Caresses at that, when she got the helm like that, I mean, we follow cadence and we do what we got to do, and like I said, we all come together because we're all going through this together. This regime every day is just every minute, every second, every millisecond, it feels like something's breaking news. It feels like something's going, and
Yeah. It's
um,
exhausting.
yeah. So I mean,
Well, I
that's
feel you,
all. I
man. I
mean, that's
mean, I joined the Discord. I plan to be as involved as I possibly can be, because I just, I'm a strong believer in the idea because, like, I know as someone who's been now creating content for 5 years, and especially on my other platforms, I frankly can't get arrested on other platforms. The fact that I have almost 13,000 followers on TikTok is unbelievable to me because I've not come. I'll give you an example. I've had my podcast for 5 years. I barely have over 200 subscribers there, right? And it's a free subscription. So eh, with that, like no matter where you are online, whatever social media platform you're on, if you're talking about the things that we're talking about, it can very often feel like screaming into the void. You're not getting much traction, you don't see much change and all that stuff. But I say keep doing it anyway, because it's the metaphor of the raindrop, right? One raindrop by itself might be negligible, but you get enough of them together, they can become a tsunami, right? So I think each one of us has something to contribute, and just kind of block out everything else, block out the distractions, block out the feelings of doubt and solitude and all that stuff, and just keep doing what we're doing. And because one day I know some young face is going to ask me, what did you do during all of this? And I want to be able to tell them something. I don't want to be able, I
Yeah.
don't want to tell them I hid and waited it out. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I want to be able to tell them I fought with everything that I had, win, lose, or draw. I did what I had to do, and these conversations, let's remember, these are the same conversations that started America, right? Like when Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense, there were only like 4 million people in America, not counting the natives, right? 4 million of the settlers in America. That thing sold 500,000 copies through word of mouth. Okay. And when MLK did what he did, this was pre internet. People had to just figure out a way to communicate and organize. So we have no excuse, because we have every possible communication tool to reach everywhere in the world. So we just have to keep working to do it.
Yoda,
Yeah.
would you run for office?
I was asked that when I was much younger, when I was in my 20s. And in my 20s, we were just like not too far removed from the era where people who looked like I did and spoke like I do caught a hot one to the back of the head, right? So I was like, nah, I'd rather live, right? And that might be changing as time has gone on. At the local level, it seems like it could become a possibility. I'm not sure yet, though.
Well, I'd vote for you now.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I second that.
And it's cool that you brought up the tsunami, because Caress could tell you I be using the word tsunami the whole time. Like,
Listen, I got a little chill. I'm not gonna lie, Steve,
yeah,
when he said that,
See
and
that? Great minds think alike, right?
yeah,
yeah,
and
because oh, go ahead, Caress, go ahead.
I was gonna say my metaphor for what you said with the raindrops is the pebble in a still lake, right? You see a still lake that's just very still. You might throw a pebble in there and make a little wave, but when we start hitting it with all kinds of pebbles from every angle together, we hit a tsunami, right? So same thing, but yeah.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
was kind of it's refreshing to hear because it's like great minds think alike, like you said,
yeah,
right? People who I think that when you align correctly with people who think alike, you're working towards something good. And so,
yeah.
yeah,
We
a
Well,
just
lot.
have
I'd
to
throw a
we
few
just have to
quarters
prop
in
each
the
other
well.
up. We have to understand that this is going to be a long haul. It's going to get uglier. It's going to get darker. People are going to suffer. We're going to lose people. That is an inevitable fact. And not everybody can contribute in the same ways. Not everybody's capable of doing that. Not everybody has the same stakes on the line to lose if things go wrong. So I would never make demands of everyone to do everything.
Right.
I'm just saying, do whatever you can.
Do something.
Whatever you can, just do
Hmm.
something.
Yes.
I,
That's our
If
stance.
you
That's
could,
exactly the People's Sick Day. Exactly it. If
I
you
still
can't,
say I'd vote for you.
Well, good. I haven't lost your vote in the last two
I
minutes.
think,
That's good to know.
Yeah,
I
and
think
plus I
we could
already threw
platform you
four
as a
quarters in
grassroots.
the wishing well.
Yeah, and the reason why the tsunami, like I try to tell like people all the time, like when it comes time, I don't want just a blue wave, a blue, like you said, like one raindrop. Like if you just talking about a blue wave, that wave going, it's gonna come and go, and it's gonna, it might cause a little something, and it's just gonna go away. I want a tsunami. Like when I say a tsunami, that means like I want I want it so blue that bloods will be wanting to come to this side. That's what I'm talking about. Like I want it like super duper blue. Like
Yeah.
because like New Jersey and Virginia, like everybody talking about 2026, like New Jersey and Virginia, they have offset years. And I'm in Virginia, so we got to start it off.
Yeah.
And so as of
Thank you,
right now,
Desi.
like I'm making phone bank. I mean, doing phone banking, knocking on doors, getting people that I know that's not registered in my local community to get registered, telling people to vote for school board and the town councils and all those different things, because those
100%, because
things
that's what the
matter.
Heritage Foundation's been doing for 52 years. They infiltrated
Mhm.
everything at every level. There's not a PTA meeting that they're not part of.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I see Vicky in the comments that her daughter's in Virginia. Tell your daughter don't fall for that okey doke, because we got a blagger uh named Winston Sears Earl that's running, and you see her ads and stuff on TV. It was like, my dad came over here with 47 cents in his pocket from Jamaica and da 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 this, but the whole time, like, she's the one that when people was losing their jobs in DC were saying, oh, if you lost your job, you'll be all right. Everybody's lost a
Ugh.
job before.
People
Oh
lose
my
jobs
God.
every day.
Yeah, people lose it. Yeah, that's what she said. Like, and it wasn't even like somebody was recording her, and it was like, oh my God, it was something new to her. Like she said it on an open mic. Like that's what
So
she said.
callous.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, at the end of the day, like I wanted everything down the ticket, because like we voting everything. Like it's three big positions that's running. Like Senate is one of them, and then basically like the cabinet members that kind of fill in with
Right.
the governor. And like I said, we just need to make sure that all of it's blue, because like we see what the tactics are now, and they're trying to push in the cities with ice cream people and things of that nature. So we're gonna need some people that's gonna stand up against it. And we know if you living in a red state, the likelihood of somebody standing up is very much slim to none. So like I said, Virginia and New Jersey got to set it off in this year before it ends, and then hopefully that be the catalyst to what happens in 2026.
I hope so. I mean, we have to run the table. That's vitally important. And then after that, because, unfortunately, Americans have no fucking attention span. And they only give the new government 2 years to do their work. We got to stop that trend. After we run the table, the next thing to do is remind everybody why we had to run the table, and then remind them how we need to be in power, meaning the Democratic politician. And I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm an independent. I don't give a fuck about that whole Hatfield McCoy nonsense. But I run on data and I run on facts, and the fact is that the Democratic Party has done way more for America than the Republican Party has. And we have to stay in power almost like Roosevelt. We have to be there for 16 years minimum in order to right the ship. And it actually will probably take even longer than that, but at least to just shore up the main things that we need to be shored up, we got to ensure that people don't forget this time. We have to keep
Yeah.
reminding them, like, this is among the darkest days in America's history, and they're going to get darker. And once we get out of it, because I do believe we can. I agree with you 100%, Caress. I do believe we have the ability and the determination to get out of it. We have to keep reminding people of how bad it was, so it can never get this bad again.
And I think that the blue wave, or the blue tsunami that Steve is talking about, is a wind that is so powerful that it reminds everyone who's on the right side of history, who thinks progressively, that we are powerful, right? It needs to be big enough and strong enough that when it knocks everything down, we see the power in our abilities, right? We see
Yeah.
our ability to knock down these doors, and it needs to be contagious, where it continues on and sustains, right? Where we show
100%.
up for ourselves, we show up for our community, and we don't stand by and just allow propaganda to get into our heads, right? And I think that we're going to see that. I do believe in Virginia, we're going to err out on the right side of history. Look at what we just saw in Iowa. Look at what we just saw in Georgia, right? So we're seeing Republicans getting wiped with Democrats, right? They're getting wiped. And I mean, Mamdani that was a good test too. Like, look what Mamdani did, right? And I do believe that Mamdani is going to take it, So, and I think they know that, and they're scared. This
Yeah.
is why the redistricting is coming in. This is why the poll closures are coming in, and they're going to throw You're right. I think it is going to get worse. They're going to throw everything they got at this,
Yeah.
right? You got Donald Trump talking about creating a convention, right? So he can have a cheerleading session and try to do a popularity contest real quick with American citizens on the right to get his endorsements on people for each state. I think it's going to be a fucking clown show, and we're gonna watch a bunch of coonery happening for real.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know how many of you have read the Big Beautiful Bill, but
You mean the
when I
big
lived in
bullshit
Virginia,
bill?
I had a 5,000 square foot house on 2 acres, Anthony Sylvan pool, gazebo, koi pond, you name it, fireplaces, the works. My taxes were $4,300 a year. I'm living in a 3,500 square foot house now in New Jersey. No pool, no nothing in the backyard. It's sand, okay, where I live, and I pay actually almost $17,000,
Sheesh.
and they
Right.
had a better school system than I do.
Right. Yeah,
Mm,
that's what it is. We're
crazy.
we're
Thank you,
we're
Tom.
getting
Well,
we're getting less and we're paying more for it. It's just unsustainable. Folks, this
well,
has
the
been
Fed
an
is going to
absolutely
cut
amazing
off the states.
conversation, and I'm going to shut it down now because I'm hungry. Fat
Oh,
guy.
come on,
What
Yoda.
can
Let's
you
party
what
all
do you
night.
expect? But
Nah, doesn't have anybody have an apple to give him?
that's
Come
funny.
on, Yoda.
No, I don't, and I won't eat on camera. There's too much violence in the world as it is. But I will say this, please, folks, follow all the people. This panel has been extraordinary, and I'm used to great panels. I'm very lucky. The people that come up to speak to us are always fantastic. This has been a standout, and please let's support the People's Sick Day. I mean, I rarely throw my endorsement to anybody because I think most people are full of shit. But what they're doing is vitally important, and I want to be involved. Like I said, I want my story to include that I did everything I could do to fix this problem. So that's why I'm recommending that everybody get involved with the People's Sick Day and make it happen. Please follow Danny. Like I said earlier, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday and Wednesday are positive ways to fix what's going on. Friday is the most fun you're ever going to have with your clothes on social media, which is the trivia game. I'm telling you, we laughed for 3 hours straight during tonight's trivia game. So follow him, and also first and third Sunday of every month, he does Vet Talk because he's a 75-year-old veteran who put in 22 years into the military and paid a really, really hard price for his devotion to America. And he deserves all the respect we can muster and all the support we can muster. And if you know any veterans who need any kind of help whatsoever, please direct them to Vet Talk on the first and third Sunday. With that, thank you everybody who was in the chat tapping away. You broke my personal record and brought me to 126,000 likes. That's absolutely spectacular. Thank you for all the comments, for all the gifts, and most importantly, your time. That is the commodity that we can never get back once we've spent it. And the fact that you chose to spend it with me is absolutely wonderful to me, and I don't take that for granted. So once again, I'm here Monday through Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Until we meet again, peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.
Bye,
Thank you very
y'all.
much.